What's up, man? So I beat social anxiety, and this is how I did it. So 3 years ago, I was not the person I am today. I'm gonna take you back to 2022. I had this specific memory, this random memory from 2022 that is kind of small, but it does explain who I was very well. Basically, I remember just seeing this guy on the street, like waiting for the bus or something. I was walking down the streets. It was a sunny day, just to paint a picture for you. This guy was wearing cool socks. Like every once in a while, you just see somebody with wacky, goofy ass socks. And I wanted to tell him, like, yo, cool socks, bro. I was kind of in this like this feeling of like I want to like express myself more, you know? And I was too afraid to tell him that he had cool socks. I was too afraid to like give him that compliment. I think mostly because I was worried that he would think that I was weird or something. Like, who is this guy like just randomly talking to me like this stranger, you know? I wasn't sure that if like talking to a stranger like that was okay, you know? Like, is it weird if I do that? Is he gonna think I'm weird? Is he gonna think I'm crazy or something? I had all these like weird insecurities in my head, but that was the person that I was basically all my life up to that point. I was like 23 years old in 2022. I don't want to tell you my whole life story in one video, but for example, in high school, I never went to parties. I didn't have my first kiss in high school. It happened in college. I didn't even go to my high school prom because I was too afraid of asking a girl out, like, with like this big poster and everything. And honestly, there wasn't really any girls in high school that I could have asked out. I didn't even have any friends that were girls, really. That's how bad this was basically all my life. Like the social anxiety, this like fear of rejection, fear of being an outcast or something. So I kind of just stayed quiet for a lot of my life. And so fast forward to 2022, I was afraid of, talking to cute girls as well. Like I was really afraid of approaching a cute girl. I had no idea how to even do that, if it was even okay to do. Like, is this allowed to do? I knew that I wanted to change because I envisioned myself being like 90 years old, on my deathbed one day. And just the thought of me like having lived my whole life being this like socially anxious, insecure guy, basically just being afraid of other people, of expressing myself authentically to other people. The thought of that was just so depressing. You're not going to live a good life if you don't fix that about yourself, like this fear of other people, fear of talking to other people. So I made it my mission, like towards the end of 2022 and basically all throughout 2023. Like that was my main goal. I need to become comfortable approaching women that I'm attracted to. I need to become comfortable just being on my own and being more self-reliant. I want to make new friends. I want to become comfortable speaking to guys, even like just making new friends. I wanted to become this guy who I could like go to any city in the world and, I could have a fun dating life by approaching women. I could create like a new friend group with other guys just by like talking to dudes at the gym or wherever I'm at, really. I wanted to know that like I belonged in this world and I could have a fun life, because that matters. Like being able to create a social life anywhere you go and a dating life, creating romance anywhere you go. Not with any girl you see, that's not gonna happen, but being able to reasonably expect like, okay, like there's a good amount of women out there that want me if I, talk to them in like a respectful, masculine, grounded way, if I'm being authentic. I wanted to know that like women wanted me for who I was, I also wanted to, be able to make friends anywhere. And I went through like this whole journey basically. Like I traveled the world all by myself. I put myself into uncomfortable situations. That I went to the clubs all by myself. I would go to bars all by myself. I went to Mexico for 2 months all by myself. I'm in Argentina right now and I've been here for like 2 years, and I initially came here all by myself, and now I have a girlfriend here as well as like a really fun friend group. So I basically achieved what I wanted to achieve. I've achieved the ability of, you could put me in any city. I could have a fun dating life with women that I'm attracted to genuinely. Like I don't have to settle for women like I used to, because I would just feel desperate and, lonely. I was like, okay, like she's giving me attention. Cool. I'll settle for her. I could basically create like a fun dating life for myself anywhere I go. And I could create a fun friend group as well anywhere I go. And I'm grounded in myself, in who I am. And I actually, my business now is teaching other men how to go through the same transformation that I went through, because that's how much my life changed, man. Like my whole life trajectory completely changed. The person that I am today is not the person I was 3-4 years ago, even 2 years ago, man. Like the amount of growth that I've made, and this applies to you as well, man. Like you can make this amount of growth 100%, probably in even a shorter amount of time with the information that I'm about to give you, because what I'm about to tell you, it's not going to give you superpowers. Okay. You know how like there's videos that say like, oh, like if you don't jerk off, you're going to get superpowers, and women are just going to fucking be able to tell that you're so masculine. This isn't going to be one of those videos. I'm going to give you grounded, down to earth, realistic advice on how you could go from being so socially anxious like me to where I was afraid of giving a guy a compliment if he had cool socks. Okay. Forget about the whole approaching an attractive woman. Like, yeah, I was afraid of that, but I was also afraid of telling a guy that he had a cool shirt or whatever. To go from that to being like very relaxed and grounded in yourself and be able to express yourself with your own natural, unique confidence, be relaxed with women when you talk to them, make a friend group anywhere you go, and just being more autonomous and self-reliant as a man. What I'm about to teach you is going to help you become that. So close all your other tabs, lock in, and just listen to my voice. No. So there's 3 phases to this, and it's not like you need to do one phase and then move on to the next phase and then move on to the next phase. It's all kind of intertwined. You kind of need to do all of this at the same time, but there's kind of 3 categories of what you need to do. And this is all what I did, basically. I'm not asking you to do anything that I didn't do myself. Phase 1 is reset, the reset phase. What I did that I honestly think every human being on earth should do is delete social media. And what I mean by that is Instagram, TikTok. I never had a TikTok account, thank God. But delete Instagram, delete TikTok, delete Twitter, just whatever nonsense social media that you use, don't look at it anymore. And I'm going to break down why. But basically, back in 2022, 2023, when I first started approaching women, I was like, I don't want to use social media anymore. Like, I want to break away from all these like time wasting distractions, One big thing is the reason why I was so scared of approaching women for all my life, and so many men are also afraid of approaching women for this reason, is that I wasn't sure if it was okay to do or not. Like in today's day and age, like, is this okay to do? Am I going to get canceled? Do women freak out if you approach them? Like, what's the vibe? There's so many like viral TikToks of like a girl, recording herself at the gym, and some guy walks up to her and then she posts it on TikTok and everyone goes crazy and they're like, oh my God, men are fucking disgusting, and then there's going to be guys that respond to that being like, women need to chill out with recording at the gym. He was just being respectful. Whatever. Like you just see like these like arguments and all this stuff, and you don't really know who's right and who's wrong. And I got fucking exhausted, dude. I was like, fuck this shit, bro. Like, this is exhausting. Like, I don't know who's right and who's wrong. I don't even know who to believe. What I believe in my heart is, I feel like if I walked up to a girl and respectfully was like, hey, excuse me, respectfully, I want to say that you're very cute, want to come say hi, that should be okay. And if a girl freaks out, then okay, she freaks out, that's on her. But there's no way I'm being disrespectful by like respectfully, doing something like that. And that was my belief, but I wasn't really sure because of all these things that I would see online. Ultimately, what I ended up doing is I deleted Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that stuff. I just started doing the thing that I felt was right, like in my heart. I was like, I don't think this is bad to do. Very quickly, I realized that it's totally chill to approach girls. And in fact, a lot of girls actually find it very refreshing. There's actually a study, I'll screenshot it here, but I think a lot of young women kind of want to meet men organically rather than through dating apps. And this is a pretty recent kind of development, I guess. I guess people are just tired of dating apps at this point. But basically, women find it very refreshing for a guy to walk up to them and be like, hey, I thought you were cute. I wanted to come say hi. As long as the guy's being like respectful and authentic and just, chill, it's fine. It's not disrespectful. Throughout my journey, I realized that like, okay, some girls do get a little bit freaked out by it, but it's not really on you. It's not your fault that they get freaked out by it. That's just who they are. Maybe they've had bad experiences with men in the past. Maybe they're just not used to like, a stranger walking up to them like this. So it's not really on you at all. Plenty of women have literally told me to my face, like, hey, this was cool that you did this. Like, more guys should do this. So all that stuff that you see online about like, men should not approach women and whatever, all this chaos is just such bullshit, dude. As long as you're doing it respectfully, of course. With social media too, there's so much unnecessary anxiety that it creates. A big thing that I would do when I had Instagram and I think mostly with Instagram and like Snapchat and stuff is if you like a girl, you kind of like care too much about her. Like you'll post a story specifically just to see if like she will view it or if she'll like it. And you kind of just start playing this game of like micro analyzing like every little thing that somebody does on Instagram. Oh, she liked this other guy's post, which might mean that she likes him, and she didn't like my post, which means that she doesn't give a fuck about me. It's like you start like caring way too much about these like tiny little digital behaviors that people have, and it's retarded. Like it's legitimately retarded to care about all that stuff. And once you unplug from it, you realize that it's so stupid. But when you're in it, you feel like it matters so much, like posting something and then having the girl that you like your post or whatever. Like it feels like such a big deal and it feels so important, and it creates all these unnecessary worries and anxieties. A huge thing that no one talks about also with social media is being way too focused on people's status, like their follower count, things like that. There was one time kind of in my beginning of my like approach journey and my social transformation journey, whatever you want to call it, I approached this really, really attractive girl at the gym, and I talked to her. I was very confident, very relaxed the entire time. Like I made steady eye contact with her. We kind of smiled. We were like laughing a little bit. And at the end of the conversation, I got her number, her WhatsApp. And on WhatsApp, she had her Instagram linked to her WhatsApp. So I was curious and I clicked on her Instagram account. I didn't have an Instagram account, so it was like Instagram.com, like all that stuff. But I saw her page and she had like 30,000, 40,000 followers. And I know for a fact that if I had known that prior to, walking up to her, I probably wouldn't have walked up to her because I would have been like way too afraid and intimidated really by, her status, right? I would have seen her like 40,000 followers and stupidly been like, oh, she's too good for me. Like she probably has like dozens of guys in her DMs. Like, why would she want me? Like I'm nothing compared to most men. Just how like awful my self-talk was back then. But I didn't know anything about her status. So that's kind of like a random benefit that I realized that no one talks about actually, is that like, yeah, like someone's social media status and the amount of followers that they have can kind of affect how you perceive yourself in comparison to them. Especially with women, right? Like if a girl has a ton of followers, like 10K followers, you might think that you're not good enough for her, but that's not true at all. Like you're just assuming something based off of like this thought, like, oh, maybe there's other guys in her DMs or something that are better than me. It's just a stupid thought to have, though. It doesn't really exist. It's not like based in reality. Something that I was worried about is, and some guys worry about this, is like, okay, if I delete Instagram, are girls going to think that I'm weird? Are they going to think that I'm hiding something? Like maybe I'm a serial killer or some shit. Like I need to have some sort of digital presence to prove to them that I'm not like a creep or something. I had that fear a bit. And basically over the past few years approaching women, I realized that that's a stupid fear to have. No, there was never really any problem at all. No girl was like creeped out by it. In fact, it literally makes you more attractive to women. Just to be this guy who's like off the grid, you read books, you watch like really, really good quality movies, like classic movies. And like you're not in this stupid world of social media. You're like off the grid completely. You're more peaceful, more grounded in yourself. that is way more attractive to women than you being a guy who's like scrolling constantly, like fucking flipping from Instagram to Snapchat to TikTok and then going back to Instagram. You know, that's not attractive. So don't even worry about this whole thing of like, oh, what if I delete my social media and then like people think I'm weird for it? If they think you're weird for it, they don't belong in your life. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, if somebody thinks you're weird for being like, hey, I want to get off social media and like take a break at least from like this digital overstimulation, if they don't understand that, then they are just retarded. They simply do not belong in your life. They don't care about personal growth. Their opinion does not matter at all to you. I've had a couple times when I would approach a girl and I would be like, you know, let's exchange numbers. I've had a couple girls be like, oh, do you have Instagram? And I would just be like, no, I don't really use Instagram. Let's just do numbers instead. And it was never a problem. Like it never created an issue at all. So it's not really as big of a deal as we think it might be. So yeah, that's basically social media right there in a nutshell, why you should delete it. It's got so many benefits. So many benefits to deleting social media, man. I cannot stress that enough. So we're still in the reset phase right now. Lock the fuck in. With reset, not only is it about deleting social media and getting rid of, you know, porn, video games, movies, TV shows, all that stuff. The whole point, basically, the whole point of that is because in order to break out of your social anxiety, in order to start approaching women, be more confident with yourself, you do need to start putting yourself into uncomfortable social situations, man. There's no way around it. So with things like porn, let's just fixate on porn real quick. At this point in your life, if it's a Friday night and you want to grow socially, you need to go out by yourself to the mall, or maybe even, you know, something even more like intimidating, like a bar or a club. You need to start doing things in real life, okay? Start talking to girls, even if it's gonna be bad, even if the situation is like uncomfortable for you, that is still way more valuable to you than you just staying at home and jacking off to porn, right? Porn also makes you view women as purely as like sexual, basically. Like women just have tits and asses and that's it. Like that's just all they are. You getting girls into your life isn't going to be through you viewing them that way, like with like a pornographic lens. It's going to be through you just viewing them as a regular human being, looking them in the eyes and just having a regular human to human conversation with them. The more you start talking to attractive women, the more you'll realize that porn really fucking twists your perception of them a lot. Women that you're attracted to, they're just regular people. You getting women like that in your life is going to be through, you know, that personal communication stuff. And it's not going to be through, you know, you viewing them in this like attractive pornographic way. Okay. So does porn affect how you view them? Yes, absolutely. It makes you more nervous around them. It makes you more anxious and horny around women. It's a weird energy, man. So definitely just stop watching porn. It's also, porn is just like fun and pleasurable. And on a Friday night, you need to do the opposite of fun and pleasurable. You need to be going out into the cold, putting on your jeans, going out and putting yourself into uncomfortable situations, man. Take the sweatpants off, put on a nice outfit and go out into the real world, okay? I also recommend in the reset phase is consistent exercise. Like 4 to 5 days a week, go to the gym or something equivalent to that, okay? The gym just makes your brain fucking function like 20% better, dude. Recently, I have a girlfriend right now. We had this argument and it left me feeling very frustrated, very just angry at her, angry at the world, and just annoyed, man. And I went to the gym and I channeled that anger like into lifting more. I wasn't even talking to anybody. I have like friends at the gym. I didn't even talk to them. I just went straight to all the machines and weights that I normally do. Then I went to this part of the gym that has like a rope, like the ropes that you swing for cardio. And I was really, really pushing myself. Cause again, I was like pissed off and I was just like channeling that anger into, you know, pushing myself even harder. And out of nowhere, I realized why I was so angry in the first place. And it was like the purest form of thought just like came to me. So I texted my girlfriend like, hey, I don't really think I really explained myself well enough. And I think we kind of just started arguing for no reason about this whole thing. But like, this is why I was upset. And I explained it to her in like the most clear, coherent way possible that I hadn't been able to explain it to her like that before. She was like, oh wow, like yeah, like that makes way more sense. Like thank you for telling me. It all came from me working out. Seriously, bro. It all came from me just pushing myself and, exercising really, really hard. Working out hard just makes your brain work better, dude. I don't know. I mean, there's a ton of science behind it, but that's literally an example from my life. Like a couple weeks ago, that happened. And I was just like, wow, man, like I was not expecting that. And it was just like amazing, honestly. So 100%, you should work out. It makes you feel good. It makes you think better. And again, it makes you more confident in yourself, and it will absolutely carry over into your life the next day and the next day. It's just such a good habit to start doing. It doesn't have to be the gym. It could be, calisthenics, like in your house, like doing push-ups and whatever you want to do, really. But definitely do something as a man. Definitely start working out like at least like 3 to 4 times per week. The one last thing I'll add into that is start taking cold showers. I know cold showers are this like huge thing that, everyone like Andrew Huberman does it. Like everybody does it. What cold showers help you do is actually become calm in stressful situations. I think there's like studies behind it. There was an Andrew Huberman podcast about it, but basically when you go into a cold shower and you try to just breathe and stay calm, it trains some part of your brain that helps you stay calm in stressful situations, not just in a cold shower setting, but just like in general, any setting in life. It's like a part of your brain that allows you to stay calm in stressful situations. So social anxiety and approaching a cute girl or going out into a party or a place that's intimidating, the same way that you would jump into a cold shower and it's like kind of like scary and intimidating and it's like, uncomfortable, and you becoming calm and chill in those situations, that will train the part of your brain that also feels calm in approaching a cute girl that you're afraid of approaching. Okay. So it's kind of this like indirect way of becoming more confident in these areas as well. The next phase is the exploration phase. So exploration, you're doing this side by side with the reset phase. I'm not saying you do the reset first and then you move on to exploration. Do all of this kind of at the same time. The exploration phase is you going out by yourself, becoming more self-reliant, putting yourself into uncomfortable situations and letting yourself develop the ability to like support yourself emotionally. So when you're feeling uncomfortable, you're not leaning on opening your phone, and escaping into that to make you feel good, or, pulling up porn, or even just like relying on your friends to, make you feel more validated and more secure in a situation. You do need to develop this feeling of like self-reliance and independence, basically. So what that looks like in real life is it could be anything from exploring your hometown more by yourself all the way to traveling solo, like to different countries, if you have the opportunity to do that. Like I had a remote job, for example, and I went to Mexico for 2 months, and that was like the peak of my personal transformation. I just went to Mexico all by myself, and I didn't know anybody there. And I was like, okay, like if I want to date women here, if I want to make friends here, I have to just get out of my shell. I have to sign up for events. I have to go places. I have to just like walk up to people and talk to them. Otherwise, I'm just going to be lonely the entire time. Like I don't have any friends here. So doing things alone trains that part of you where you're almost like doing things out of desperation. You're like, bro, like I'm like lonely. I need to talk to people. Like I'm going to do that. So it's like if you have your friend group with you, you're just naturally going to rely on them instead of pushing yourself to do like the scarier, more uncomfortable thing. You know what I mean? Like what I did in Mexico a couple of times was I went out to like a club or a bar all by myself. And if I went with my friends, it would be fun, but I wouldn't grow as a person because I would just be talking to them the whole time. I wouldn't want to do the scary thing of like walking up to a girl and just like striking up a conversation with her or talking to new people. So going out by yourself is extremely, extremely important. Try new things as well, okay? It doesn't have to be nightlife stuff. It could just be literally signing up for like a dance class or like a pottery class. Whatever you're interested in, start doing more of that. Start doing more of what interests you outside of just what you see on your phone or on a screen. You know what I mean? Stuff that is in reality. Start signing up for events. Start doing things that make you feel a bit uncomfortable. Overall, in this phase, you are, and really just in general, like if you want to go from being socially anxious to having that social freedom, that you dream of, you need to become comfortable in uncomfortable situations. You need to embrace uncertainty. When you go to a bar, or when you approach a girl, you don't really know what's going to happen. There's no certainty, right? It's very spontaneous. It's very out of nowhere. And what the anxious man does is he tries to like assume that it's going to go badly. It's an uncertain situation. So he tries to develop some sort of certainty in his head. Like, oh, if I approach her, she's probably going to reject me. It's like, you don't know that, dude. Like you just invented something. You invented like a random thing. You don't know that whatsoever. Going out to a bar by yourself, you just assume. The anxious person goes, oh, like people are going to think that I'm a loser. People are just going to like make fun of me or something. It's like, again, you have no idea. Like you don't know what's going to happen. So overall in this phase, start asking yourself, what would happen if I did X, Y, and Z? Not what if X, Y, and Z happened. Does that make sense? So like with uncertain situations, ask yourself, what would happen if I just walked up to this girl right now and just go find out, instead of being like, what if I walked up to her and she rejects me, right? You're kind of concluding, you're making your own conclusions that are not really rooted in reality at all. You're just kind of assuming something that's like based in fear. It's not reality, this assumption, you understand? The other thing is like, okay, let's find out what actually happens. So definitely just start doing more of this, like mentally, like the mental shift of like, what would happen if I just started doing this? What would happen if I gave this guy a compliment right now? Go find out. We assume that the thoughts in our brain and like the assumptions that we make in our brain are correct, but bro, they are very far from being correct. I'm telling you, especially the thoughts that are like related to anxiety and fear, those thoughts are, bro, like going through this journey these last few years has made me realize that the thoughts that we have when we're afraid and when we're anxious are so like incorrect most of the time. Like we assume, like we see a cute girl and we assume like, oh, she's probably a bitch, I'm not gonna go talk to her. Like I would do that. Like I would see like a really hot girl and I'd be like, she's probably kind of bitchy, but like, okay, I'm gonna like go talk to her anyways, because I would like force myself, like, don't be a pussy, bro, go talk to her. And she would end up being like the nicest girl ever. And I'm like, damn, I was wrong. Like I was wrong about a lot, So let go of your assumptions is what I'm trying to say. I used to assume that approaching women was wrong, but I learned over the course of the last few years that approaching women respectfully is totally normal, and women are actually really happy to, be approached, again, as long as it's respectful. And I actually have a whole community and course dedicated to teaching men how to respectfully approach women, how to be more authentically themselves, how to be more naturally confident. It's called Natural Confidence Lab, and the link is down below. So definitely check that out if you're interested in growing in this area of your life. The last phase that I'm going to talk about is the reflection phase. And again, you're doing all of this simultaneously. You're not like waiting until the very end to do this. But the reflection phase is basically you journaling about your experiences and just reflecting on them, This will range from you going out and reflecting on how you felt, like how you could have made a situation more fun. Let's say you sign up for a dance class and it was kind of uncomfortable. You're not really a dancer. I did that in Mexico. I did that a couple times. Like I'm a stiff white man. I don't dance, but I was like, bro, I'm going to like sign up for a dance class because it's uncomfortable and I'm just going to throw myself into uncomfortable situations. And I signed up for a dance class and it was kind of awkward for me. So I would reflect on it and I'm like, okay, like how could I have made that more fun for myself? Like, what if I did that again? Like, what would I do next time to make it more fun, to, enjoy myself a little bit more, to loosen up more? So reflect on your experiences and ask yourself, how could I have made that more fun for myself? What could I have done? What could I have said to people? What's the mindset that I could have had? And, what am I going to do next time in that same situation or a similar situation? Reflect on the approaches that you have with women, right? That's a huge thing too, is like, don't just approach girls and then like not think about what you said. Like definitely reflect on the conversation. Towards the end of the day or whenever you have time, really reflect on how the conversation went and see maybe there's a way that you could have had more fun in the conversation. Maybe you could have been more loose. Maybe you could have said something that would have been more fun or interesting. Things like that, So try to get yourself back into that mental state of that conversational flow. And you can kind of start coming up with stuff like, okay, like that would have been cool to say. What's something that I could have said that would have made the conversation like 1% more interesting, right? It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but like 1% more interesting? Could I have smiled more? Could I have said X, Y, and Z? You know, whatever it is. If you want to know more about how to respectfully approach women, how to have that fun dream dating life of yours that you want, and how to just become more naturally confident in yourself, I have a whole community and course that's all based on that. It's called Natural Confidence Lab. The link for that is down below, and I highly recommend you check that out if you're still watching this video. Also, like and subscribe. That really helps me grow my channel and allows me to keep making more videos like this. What fulfills me the most is making videos like this, helping young men go through the same life transformation that I went through. I've already coached like dozens of men on this, and I just find it to be like so fulfilling, and I want to keep doing this for the rest of my life, honestly. So please like and subscribe if this video resonated with you, and yep, I'll see you guys next time.